Hi there. I'd like to make a quick example to show how to use the R9 procedure panels. So the example this customer wants me to do is he wants to have a control panel that he can type in an X and Y location and press a button, and the result is it will move his tip's position relative to those values. So if his tip is at 0, 0 and he types in 10, 10 and hits go, it'll move to 10, 10. If he then presses minus 10, 0 and hits the button, it'll move it just minus 10 in the X, so now he's at 0, 10. So the closest thing I have right now to do something like this would be the move tip procedure. So I'm going to open the move tip. Now move tip is going to move us absolute instead of relative, so we'll make some small changes. So I'm selecting everything in here by hitting Control A, Control C, flipping back into here, and we'll do Control V to paste that in. So this just sets up some general stuff for us. What we're interested in, though, is changing it to be, right now it's going to move us to an absolute position at the navigation speed. We want to move it to a relative position. So first of all, we can change these value types here to relative, relative. Next, we have to make two new control panels for this. So what I can do, if I select the background, you see we have panels here, and you can see started to set up some stuff. I'll just delete these for now. Okay, so I'll remove. All right, so first to populate the panel, it's easiest to find a control that already has the same sort of type and range that you want to use. So it has the correct values that we can select. So if I just right click above this value 1 here, I'll say add a procedure panel. And I'll do the same thing to value 2. So now I have value 1, value 2. I'll click modify. I'll change this name to move X. And I will hit update. And the define value, we can just say 10 nanometers just for fun. So I'll say update. See how it changed to say move X? I'll do the same thing here. Modify, move Y. Again, I'll just set the value to 10 nanometers just for fun. Update. Now we need a button to move it. So I will say property procedure button. The procedure is going to be this own procedure called set MCL position, and I can press add. Now if we go back to the dashboard, we should see a control panel for set MCL position, and now that has the move X, move Y, and the set position that I've specified. All right, I'm going to pause this for a second so I can initialize the procedure, just so you don't have to wait for that. Oh, actually before, I set these values, so now what I actually have to do is come into the procedure and change this value 1. It had this previous setting here. We need to change that to a reference to this new thing we added, MCL position move X. Likewise, value 2, we want to make this MCL move Y. Alrighty, so I've initialized, and I ran the procedure a few times and realized I had a small little bug in it. So we have a scan coordinate here, scan system, and the motion I'm doing, I want it to be relative to the existing rotation. However, that particular one that I did not. So in our normal scan procedure, we had this item called rotate offset correction without moving, and all it does is retranslates coordinate systems in our system. So that way, when I actually do the move tip command, it will move us correctly with our rotated scan coordinates. So I can show you here quick testing. So right now we're at the center. If I move X 20 microns and Y minus 10 microns, The total area here is plus or minus 25 microns, so we should be roughly here. So I'll press this to do it. And as we can see, we moved. If I run it again, it still moves us. So now I'll show you what I meant by that rotated scan coordinates. So now we're rotated. So now you have to turn your head sideways to understand what X and Y are. So now if I'm going to move us in X, let's move us 30 microns in X, which now technically that'll be up, 10 microns. Oh, what I've done, I've actually run into a limit here. This is why I said it's important to pick values that have proper ranges. So if I go look at that control panel here, and I look at Move X, Modify, I see it can only let me select plus or minus 10 microns. So I can make this bigger, let's say plus or minus 30 microns. Update. And then I do the same thing for Move Y, Modify. There we go. Update. Okay, let's try this again. Now I can set 30. So that'll go 30 this way. Now let's go 10 up, which will actually be to the left now. There we go. So as you can see here, it's pretty quick and easy to create new procedures in the R9 procedure space, as well as add custom control panels to handle the proper functionality. Well, that's all for this quick little tutorial. I hope you learned something, and please give me some feedback if you have any questions.